As I was opening up Advent calendars with my kids last night, it made me wonder where they came from. Did you know Advent wasn't originally a countdown to Christmas at all? Most of what we think of as Advent today, calendars, candles, little daily treats, has nothing to do with the original purpose. For most of Christian history, Advent wasn't a celebration, it was a penitential season. Think preparation, reflection, restraint. Not excitement. It's weird I grew up Catholic and I never knew this. The earliest form of Advent shows up around the 4th or 5th century in what's now France and Spain, and it wasn't tied to Christmas gifts or cozy rituals. It was connected to fasting, like an autumn version of Lent. And it doesn't even originally focus on the birth of Jesus. It focused on the second coming, the idea that Christ would return at the end of time. So Advent was about honesty, repentance, and getting your spiritual life in order. It was meant to make you examine yourself, not your shopping list. By the early medieval period, different regions celebrated Advent differently. Some fasted 3 days a week, some had strict abstinence rules, some focused on almsgiving and confession. But the tone was always slow, serious, inward, not celebratory. The shift toward a more joyful, Christmas-focused Advent didn't happen until the Middle Ages. And even then, the penitential tone stayed. If you look at old church calendars, Advent is marked in purple, which is the same color as Lent. It was literally categorized as a season of restraint. Next came Advent wreaths and calendars, but those don't appear until the 1800s in Germany, and they started as a Lutheran teaching tool, not a holiday countdown. Advent calendars as we know them today, with paper windows and chocolate, are even newer, from the late 19th to the early 20th century. So when we think of Advent today as this cheerful countdown to Christmas, it's honestly a pretty recent reinterpretation. For most of its history, Advent looked nothing like that. It was slow, serious, and penitential. The calendars, the candles, and the more celebratory version of Advent didn't show up until the 1800s and 1900s. It's just one of those great examples of how traditions shift over time. Something that started as reflection and restraint eventually turned into treats, candles, and little daily surprises. And most people have no idea the earlier version even existed. All right, what do you want to know next? Follow for more.